On behalf of the Placer County District Attorney's Office, we want to thank everyone for attending today, and we want to share our deepest gratitude to Jules' family for allowing us to honor their beautiful girl. With that, I'm going to introduce Placer County District Attorney Morgan Geyer.
Good morning. Thank you all for being here. Just a moment ago, tragically, we made history here in Placer County with the conviction of Mr. Kapakunian. This is not an honor we wanted, nor one that Jules' family deserved. I think for those of you that witnessed in court the impact statements of Jules' parents and loved ones, we truly saw the strength of the human spirit today. Regina, Jake, you brought Jules to life in court today. You let us all feel as if we knew her. You gave her memory, honor, and dignity. And we appreciate your support and your participation in this grueling process. I have a few people I would like to thank today, and the first person I would like to thank is Placer County Sheriff's Detective Patrick Craven. There are a few other individuals who have dedicated their time, their energy, their soul, and given up so much to make sure that fentanyl dealers are held accountable, to make sure that investigations are done and done properly, to secure convictions, to make sure that those who die from fentanyl poisonings do not die in vain. And I'd like to also thank our Placer County prosecutors who work so closely with him. Dan Wesp and Devin Portillo from the Placer County District Attorney's Office Special Prosecutions Unit pour their hearts and souls into these cases, and we all saw that just a few moments ago in court. I would like to thank all of our partners in the Placer Special Investigations Unit. All of our agencies give up so much to make sure that that job is done and done right. So to the men and women of the Special Investigations Unit, I want to thank you very much. To our partners in law enforcement in the county, particularly our partners with our Sheriff's Office, Sheriff Wayne Wu and his crew, we couldn't do this today. We couldn't bring justice, whatever that truly ultimately means. We couldn't bring that today without the partnerships that we have in Placer County. And I'd like to thank our allies and partners with the state who supervise our Placer Special Investigations Unit, represented today by Attorney General Rob Bonta. We appreciate your presence here today. Thank you. So what does today mean going forward? Today demonstrates that we can hold fentanyl dealers. Those who knowingly sell poison in our communities, we can hold them accountable, and we will. The real strength, I think, today comes from the families who have lost loved ones to fentanyl, many whom are here today. Laura Didier, Laura Clanton are both here, have lost loved ones. Laura Didier will speak today. They have turned their anguish into action, and they have helped spread the word about the dangers of fentanyl in our community. We have hit this fentanyl crisis from every approach, from education and outreach to aggressive enforcement and prosecution, and we will continue to do that. And we hope that today shows it can be done, and we can attack this problem from every aspect. It was a very sad and tragic irony that I met Jake Wolf at a parent fentanyl event at Whitney High School in honor of Zach Didier, who lost his life to fentanyl poisoning. And Jake at that time said, "What can I do? I want to do more to help spread the word." And it was a solemn day when I heard the news that his daughter Jewel had died from fentanyl poisoning. He had called my office to set an appointment to figure out what we could do next to help partner in this fentanyl crisis. And I couldn't believe it when it happened, that it had happened to his daughter. I am so thankful for their participation, their dignity and grace, and the manner in which they have carried themselves through this process. It is something that no parent and no family member, no best friend deserves or wants. But they have done their best, and I think a very good job in keeping Jules' memory alive and helping the judge understand exactly the dangerousness of what this particular fentanyl dealer was doing. He had the opportunity to help. He had the opportunity to intervene. He had the opportunity to save her life, and he chose to watch her die instead. We will not tolerate that. We will educate every person in our community, every child, every teenager, every parent. We will teach them the dangers of fentanyl. But let me be clear, for those that come into our county and knowingly sell their poison, we will come after you. We will prosecute you, and we will do our best to separate you from society for as long as we possibly can. And today, it is not a celebration. It is a reflection and a recognition of what we are doing and what we will continue to do for our residents in Placer. So thank you all for being here. It is my great pleasure to introduce Jules' parents, Regina Chavez and Jake Wolf. Regina?
Morning, everybody. On behalf of my daughter Jules, my family and I would like to thank the Placer County DA's office and the special detective assigned to my daughter's case, Patrick Craven. I don't know if I can say his name. Okay, thank you. They worked endlessly and diligently to bring justice for Jules. From the very beginning of the investigation, I was told that Jules' case was unique, and I was also made aware by the team that obtaining a murder conviction pertaining to fentanyl poisoning would be an uphill battle because it had never been done in California. However, I knew my daughter's case was in good hands when both District Attorney Dan West and the detective assured me that they were up for the challenge to hold the defendant accountable for murder. Here we are today. They did it. They obtained the first murder conviction in California history for fentanyl poisoning. We couldn't have had a better team. Though this victory does not bring my precious daughter back, and I am stricken with a lifetime of grief, I am honored to know that Jules' story is going to help save so many lives going forward. The game has changed for fentanyl dealers and distributors. The precedent has been set. An individual can and will be charged for murder with the act of distributing and selling deadly products containing fentanyl in Placer County. I am forever grateful to the Dream Team. I'd like to acknowledge and thank my sweet and dear friend, Laura Didier, a fellow angel mama whose son was also murdered by fentanyl poisoning in 2020. Amidst her own agony and grief, she has been a tremendous confidant and supporter to not only us fellow grieving parents, but also to our communities and our youth. Zach's precious life and story has single-handedly helped my daughter's case in many ways. I am forever grateful and think of him every day. Today, we celebrate and honor Jules. This is a victory, and I am okay with celebrating Placer County for all your hard work, celebrating my daughter. Today, we celebrate and honor Jules, Zach, and all the other precious children we have lost to fentanyl poisoning. I stand in solidarity with Placer County, our communities, and more importantly, my fellow angel parents and siblings who have lost a loved one due to the fentanyl epidemic. Our children will not be forgotten. We will honor them by advocating and continuing to help make the changes that our state and country need to better protect our youth. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Jake Wolf. I am the father of Jules Wolf. I just want to start out by sharing some gratitude that I have on this day. I know it's a difficult time for me and my family. It's a difficult time for the entire community that grieves the loss of a beautiful light like my daughter, Jules. But today, I want to start out with a little bit of gratitude. I really want to take a moment to thank, first off, I want to thank God because regardless of what has been going on in our life recently or what's been going on in our community recently, I can feel God with me. And I want to just share a little hope with the people that are out there today and know that if you just lost somebody and you're going through struggles, that there is a God who can be with you. And so in this moment, I just want to thank God. I really want to thank the Placer County, DA Morgan Geyer. Thank you for your tireless efforts for this cause. There's a lot of things going on in our society these days that we could concentrate on that are worthwhile causes to pour effort and resources and time and energy and man hours and everything else into. And you chose my daughter and her cause. And so from that, I thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I show you honor today in doing that. I also want to show honor to my pastor who joined me here today, who's been with me every step of the way. He has supported me and, of course, my lovely wife, Denise, who has really suffered at the hands of a loss of a magnitude that is unimaginable. I want to thank my son, Isaac, for his tireless ability to overcome some very difficult circumstances and yet still maintain a semblance of positivity in what could be a bleak moment in life. I want to thank my church, the Rock Church North in Roseville, for supporting me and my family through this and helping us have a funeral for her that just honored her life, and we didn't really have to even lift a finger, and they took care of us. And so to have a church body like that, it's priceless. So I thank them. I want to thank all my friends, and I want to thank the community that has lifted up. I want to thank Tony Thurmond and the California Department of Education, who I have worked with over the last 3 years as an employee, who supported me through some of the most difficult times of my life and was understanding when I had to take time off and being there for whatever I needed, and his tireless commitment and the Department of Education's tireless commitment to ensuring that this gets brought to light for the many students that are out there that are being objected to this threat and then also are currently overcoming fentanyl themselves. And many that don't know, me and my wife and my pastor, we have a faith-based recovery program called Saved and Sober in Roseville. And in that program, we have people that come in that are recovering from fentanyl and young people that come in that are recovering from fentanyl. And it's really up to us as a community, as a state, and as a nation to lift the curtain off of this drastic, devastating illness that is affecting this country. Fentanyl is killing people everywhere. My daughter is one of those people. I am thankful that today that my daughter was one of the lucky ones that was able to receive some semblance of justice for a crime that goes beyond comprehension. I know that this concept of justice may be different to many people out there, and there may be different ways that people look at justice, but today I look at it for what it is, and I see a group of people, politicians, community members, faith-based organizations, faith leaders, families coming together for one cause. One pill can kill. And in this case, it did. So I hope that today, if anybody takes anything away from this show that's going on here, it's that you can make a difference. We can all make a difference together. Thank you.
Thank you, Jake. Before I introduce the next speaker, I neglected to thank perhaps one of the most significant portions of our office, and that is our District Attorney's Victim Services Unit. You saw Celine Guevara here a moment ago. These are the quiet angels in our office who provide support to those that have to navigate what is often a very cold and sterile court system to try and bring some level of humanity to it. So thank you for your efforts today, and thank you to our entire unit. It is my great pleasure, and I say this quite a bit, one of the wonderfully unique things about our county is our ability to work together, no matter what facet of government or community in Placer County, and that is no truer than the relationship amongst our law enforcement partners. None of today could be possible without the support of our fantastic sheriff's office. So it is my great pleasure to introduce my partner in the criminal justice system and my friend, Placer County Sheriff Wayne Wu.
Good morning. Thank you all for being here, and heartfelt condolences to Jules' parents and family and friends for their loss, and sincere appreciation for their courage and bravery and words today. It's motivating for us, and I truly believe it will make a difference moving forward. I also need to give my heartfelt appreciation to Sheriff's Detective Patrick Craven. You know, when I took office, this fentanyl crisis was one of my top priorities. Detective Craven has worked tirelessly to bring this case forward and others forward. He truly has written the book. As this was a first of its kind, these kind of investigations hadn't occurred before. And through his hard work, tenacity, and police work, and his dedication to this community, we stand here today hoping to give Jules' family some semblance of justice. But he didn't do this alone. He did it with the partners and all of our other law enforcement agencies that make up the Placer County Special Investigations Unit. All of the other jurisdictions in Placer County have detectives assigned to this unit, and the unit is led by our Attorney General through the California Department of Justice. When this case came forward, it was clear it was going to require a lot of resources to gather the evidence needed to get Jules justice. Nobody hesitated. Every agency was 100% on board, and we've got the outcome that we saw a little while ago today, and for that, I'm very thankful. I'm thankful for the collaboration that we have in Placer County with our other law enforcement organizations, thankful for the relationship we have with our district attorney and his willingness to also pave the way and follow the evidence and apply the law and bring these cases to court and get justice. But I'm also thankful for the collaboration we have in Placer County on the other venues that we're addressing this public health crisis. And it truly is a public health crisis. This is not just about the enforcement side. We're actively engaged with the education component as well. As the Placer County Sheriff, a lot of people don't realize that I'm also the Placer County Coroner. And as the coroner of this community, I watched when this epidemic struck Placer County, year over year, the number of overdoses climb year over year. And I'm happy to report, God willing, that if the trend continues this year, it would be the first year that we've actually seen a year-over-year decrease in fentanyl overdoses in Placer County. And I truly believe it is because of the hard work of this community, it is because of the hard work of people like Laura Didier, not just the law enforcement community, it's everybody in this community coming together. So I'm thankful for that. And on the heels of this sentence, I would just close with this. As the sheriff of this community, to anybody that is going to spread this poison to our constituents, I will use every resource at my disposal to gather the evidence and put a criminal case together and refer that case over to the district attorney and make sure you are held accountable. So with that, I'm pleased to introduce our California Attorney General, Rob Bonta. Thank you.
Good morning. And we have the risks here of having an outdoor gathering. Rob Bonta, California Attorney General. I first want to say that I'm sad and so sorry for the tragedy that brings us together today, and at the same time proud that we've come together across jurisdictions in partnership and collaboration to take one step closer to justice together today. And I first want to say to Jake and Gina and Laura Didier, I'm so sorry for your loss. Your courage and your strength is breathtaking. And what you're going through and what you've gone through is truly unimaginable. As a father of three, I know losing a child is every parent's worst fear. And nothing can bring your child back into your arms, but hopefully today and today's result gives you some sense of relief as we go forward, even if it's a small sense. And today, we, as I mentioned, took one step closer to justice, and I want to say thank you to how we did it together, teaming up, our sheriff, our police departments, our district attorney, my team that I'm very, very proud of. I want to say thank you to my team at the California Department of Justice, our Division of Law Enforcement, Chief John Marsh, and the Placer Special Investigation Unit Task Force Commander Jason Oliver for the care that you put into this case, to the urgency that you put into this case, to the commitment to working together with our local law enforcement partners that you put into this case. We wouldn't have gotten to the result today without your work. So I know that you don't do it for the accolades and the glory. You do it because you care, and you do it oftentimes not knowing who you're going to help, and knowing that you will never know those people that you support, and they'll never know you, but you do it anyway because it's the right thing to do. So everyone who wears the badge proudly and supports our communities, and especially to my team, thank you. Thank you to Sheriff Wu and District Attorney Geyer and your entire teams. Again, we only got here because we did it together. I also want to thank our partners, Assemblymember Pattison and Chairman Holmes, for your support and your collaboration, your teamwork. This historic sentencing, again, not something that is something that we wanted to happen here and now, but it is historic, and it's a culmination of a great deal of work and dedicated public service. And to me, it's an example of good law enforcement at its finest, working together, following the facts, building the case. And while each of us wears a different uniform and serves a different function, we're united in that commitment to public safety being job number one, number two, and number three. And whether we're getting illicit drugs off the streets, whether we're disrupting and dismantling fentanyl traffickers, or keeping our kids and our communities safe, we're in this together, and we're stronger for it because we're in it together. And we have to be, because the challenge we're up against is steep. It's enormous. In California and across the nation, we are witnessing a devastating rise in young people dying by accidental fentanyl overdose. We can't stress enough how dangerous fentanyl is. It's cheap, it's potent, and it's lethal. A horrifically tragic combination. It can be sold as a pill or a powder or hidden in other drugs. The smallest amount can kill. And that's why the work we're doing to get dealers and traffickers out of our communities is critical, and why the advocacy, bravery, and again, stressing partnership of parents, community organizations, law enforcement is so vital. So let me say thank you, and as I close, I want to just take a look ahead and remind us all that this work isn't easy. There's more work to do. And success won't happen overnight, but it will happen if we stick at it, and we stay together, and we work together because we're committed to it. So thank you again to everyone who made today possible. I'm proud and grateful for your partnership and your commitment to our communities and our public safety. And now I'd like to hand it off to Assemblymember Joe Patterson.
Thank you, Mr. Attorney General. Would like to, of course, thank Sheriff Wayne Wu and District Attorney Morgan Geyer, two of the best in the business, and we're really lucky to have them in Placer County. And it's been really a pleasure to work with them on this issue as I work on my legislative package moving forward. And I have 4 pieces of legislation to address the fentanyl crisis. I do want to say condolences to the family. Sincerely mean that, and it's listening to the statements. That's actually the first time I attended a court hearing where I got to hear the statements from the victims. I've unfortunately met a lot of great people, but victims through the course, but I've never heard the victim statements when they're telling the judge exactly how they feel. And listening to that was so gut wrenching, and it was crushing. And I'm thankful to them for sharing those stories. Because it's important that we know the kind of impact it has, not only on the community, but families. I've met a lot of families over the last few years. Laura Didier was the first family member that I met, a neighbor of mine, actually, and I've learned a lot from her, and thank you for that, for teaching me that. But I believe solving the fentanyl crisis is a three-pronged approach. One is education, and Placer County is the best in the business at that, teaching people about the risks. And I was great information from the sheriff that I think that's why we're going to see a decrease, knock on wood, in fatalities at the end of this year. But also treatment from people who are poisoned by this drug, but also who are addicted to this drug as well. They deserve treatment. But finally is accountability. We have to hold people accountable that are peddling this poison into our community. And while we've had a lot of success here in Placer County, mostly because of our law enforcement officials, it's not the same. I can't say the same thing for what's going on everywhere in the state. And we can do a lot more in the legislature to do that. I actually, just to give an example, there's something called Alexandra's Law. And what Alexandra's Law would do is it would require people who are convicted of a drug crime to receive a warning that if they sell fentanyl and somebody dies as a result, you can be charged with murder. And I think it's really important for people to get that warning, yes, if you're selling another drug, because if you escalate what's going on. And the majority of Republicans and Democrats, at least in the state Senate, agree this is something we need. Unfortunately, we haven't had success, but we're going to keep trying. And I'm not only here as a representative of this community, but after I started being more public about this, I found out that my cousin, who passed away from fentanyl later on, and so it's had an impact on my family as well. And so this is personal, and we're not going to give up. We're going to keep fighting and doing everything we can to make sure that every year that goes and that we don't have to meet more victims. The people here that are victims and continuously come out to these things and use their time to inform us about how this has impacted the community, they are the heroes. And I'm so thankful for them that they continue to do it and they continue to make an impact. And we're going to keep fighting. It's the least I can do to make sure that we don't have to meet anymore. So thank you very much for that. And I will say it is my privilege and honor to introduce Chairman Jim Holmes with the Placer County Board of Supervisors.
Thank you, Assemblyman Patterson, for your kind words. First of all, I want to offer my condolences to Joel and Joel's family, the Didier family, and all the other families that have lost children, young people from this fentanyl crisis. We have 3 county employees that have lost loved ones because of this. Today's sentencing is a prime example of the leadership of our Placer County District Attorney's Office under the leadership of Morgan Geyer, and our Placer County Sheriff's Office under the leadership of Wayne Wu, to let people know that in Placer County, those that sell fentanyl will be punished to the fullest extent of the law. They will continue that fight, and rest assured that the Placer County Board of Supervisors and the people of Placer County will stand behind them with full attention and force. I want to thank the Didier family for taking a negative, and turning it into a positive by supporting the One Pill Can Kill program and leading it throughout the state of California. It's a historic day, And as the district attorney said, a sad day, but it's a day that had needed to happen, and I feel confident that we will continue this cause. Thank you very much. And now I'd like to introduce Raul Martinez, Assistant Director of Health and Human Services.
I appreciate the opportunity to stand alongside our partners, certainly in the DA, but also state and local law enforcement as we mark this milestone for accountability. In Health and Human Services, we respond to the fentanyl crisis along a continuum. So working to provide substance use treatment to people who are ready to accept it, and working in prevention, so one of the themes from today, to engage youth so they can make healthy choices and recognize the predatory fake pill market for what it is. We're grateful that over a year ago, our strong partnerships in Placer led to the creation of the One Pill Can Kill campaign, which has reached thousands of young people, parents, educators, and others with life-saving messaging. We worked alongside community partners to help inform the tone and messaging of the campaign to reach the diversity of audiences that exist here in Placer. So that includes younger kids to older teens. Certainly my own kids in middle school and high school have received presentations, English and Spanish speakers, and the different regions of our county and more. Laura Didier has been a driving force of this work, sharing her son Zach's story everywhere, from high school gyms to legislative chambers, and ensuring that he has left a life-saving legacy. Even as overdose statistics continue to alarm, and Sheriff Wu alluded to this in his remarks, we are beginning to see some glimmers of hope. Fewer teens aged 15 to 19 in California lost their lives to fentanyl last year compared to previous years. Yet we know that even one death is too many. And this is why the work that Laura does is so critical. In the last month, Placer County has been proud to partner with Laura's organization, Song for Charlie, to locally help promote their new fentanyl education portal. And we're asking everyone here and community members to take a pledge and commit to using this new resource portal in their homes, in their schools, and in their communities. So with that, it's my honor to turn it over to Laura to talk more about the portal and how we can continue these conversations around fentanyl with our youth here in Placer County. Thanks very much.
Just over 1 year ago today, I was standing here just like Gina and Jake at a sentencing hearing for the death of my son, Zach. I am beyond grateful to this community. I'm beyond grateful to parents like Gina and Jake and Laura Collington and Tawny Arnst and the Webb family who share their stories of loss to keep their children's memories alive. Our district attorney's office, the investigative team on Jules' case is the same dream team that brought justice for my precious Zach. And they are continuing to do this incredible work, and it is a team. We truly are all in this together in Placer County, and that's special. I don't know if all of you here understand how special that is. I'm on Facebook and social media sharing the work that we're doing here in Placer, and I get messages continuously from parents in other parts of our state and our country saying, how is this getting done? How are you able to get this done? I said, we are getting it done. We in Placer County are getting it done. And we miss our kids. At the end of the day, there are dead children in our community. And we all in this fight, in this crusade to save lives, kind of pick what we feel compelled toward, where we feel our story can resonate. And for me, That's been the education piece. When I lost Zach in 2020, I'd never heard of this. I'd never heard of fake pills. I'd never heard of fentanyl. My son Zach, Laura Collington's son Spencer, early victims in this crisis. We didn't know. We didn't know the conversations that we needed to have with our kids because this was brand new. And so I went to work educating myself, and I found Song for Charlie, started by other grieving parents in Southern California who had lost their son Charlie 8 months before I lost Zach. And the incredible educational work that was being done there resonated with me. I said, this is where I can make a difference. I'm sorry, I just saw my beautiful boy looking at me. And I know it's making a difference. We, in the One Pill Can Kill Placer campaign, we hit nearly every high school in Placer County last year. That is tens of thousands of adolescents. We also hit almost all of the middle schools. And I have to acknowledge Laura Collington because we're each other's right hand in this, sharing our stories of our beautiful boys so that other kids will not suffer this fate. And now I am so excited to be able to share this new resource with you guys. It was actually in an assembly that we were doing. I believe it was one actually in Sacramento County, but there was a mom there who happened to work for the California Department of Healthcare Services. She came to learn about Song for Charlie and what we're doing, and she contacted us and said, how can we partner? How can we partner together on this? And so through funding from DHCS, we were able to build and create this portal. It's aimed to educate families on this crisis, to give parents conversation starters with their kids. There's a QR code. Please take that QR code. I also have cards with the code. We're working with Superintendent Tony Thurmond to do webinars on educating families and schools about this resource. I want to thank Assemblyman Joe Patterson for his legislation, AB 889, that was recently signed by the governor, requiring that schools warn families about the fentanyl crisis. And this portal is a perfect way to comply with that. I miss my son. Jules is so missed. Spencer, Josh, Cade. Please don't forget that at the end of the day, these are real people with real families that are being lost. And we need to stand up and make a difference together. Thank you very much.
Again, on behalf of the Placer County District Attorney's Office, thank you to everyone for attending today and participating as we honor the life of Jules Wolfe. Everyone that participated in this press conference will be available for individual comment upon conclusion, and you can come up and coordinate that with me. Thank you, everyone.